Whoa!
Ooh, welcome back, everybody. We are about to finish up the Grand Archives by taking our newly found shortcut on the right here. And whereas you can take the stairs to the right and go straight up to the boss in this little chapel at the end here, we're going to take a little detour to the left. Because up these stairs is quite a lot of items, some of which we need to get all the achievements. You go around the dome, you get a soul. So, now to take on 3 golden winged knights, and I'm not gonna lie, these are incredibly difficult. In fact, I've already died and lost all of my souls trying to take them on. And since, as you move closer, all 3 of them will drop down, the minute you see them move, you want to back down these stairs. When they land, there's 2 directly in front of you, but one will stay still and the other will patrol to the left, then to the right. Allow some time for him to pass, and we're going to try to take on the stationary one down here. So move up and lock on. Start firing at him. And if you get lucky, you can take him out. The good news is they can kind of get stuck on this ledge here, but that only lasts for so long. You want to try your best to keep your distance, and if they close the gap on you, then change tactics. Start to circle around their backs and hit them with your spells. So now we're going to see if we can take on the patrolling one. Be careful and try to get a beat on him. I think he walks around, yeah, he walks around in a circle around the dome. Oh, let's also fill up our mana now so we don't have to do it later. I'll lock onto him and let's start hitting him. They're very good at closing the gap. And he likes to throw his axes. Alright, with that one down, we can circle around the back to the last one. And even though its back is turned, you can get the backstab. It's actually better to just get the free spell, because it deals more damage anyway. Yeah, see, they are no joke. Let's run away so that we can heal up. There he is. Uh-oh. I think that was a bad idea. Run away again. Alright, shoo. If you can take care of all 3 of them, you get a Titanite slab. Once you get that taken care of, you can breathe a sigh of relief and walk around to the back where this huge balcony part is. And at the very end is our last... Wait, is it our last? I think it's our last Estus shard. There might be one more. Can't remember. Can't remember how many Estus shards we're packing now. Come back to the spiral stairs. And all the way up this ladder. And we will get a hunter's ring. Now we can drop down, or you can just take the ladder and walk around. There's nothing in here. We want to take the stairs back and continue around to this. The inside of the tower itself has a little hatch that we can carefully drop down onto this rafter. We're now back in the roof of the Grand Archives. Before you do, however, you're going to want to equip the Silver Cat ring in case you miss. If you miss, you'll land on where we're trying to go anyway. It'll just drop you straight down there and most likely kill you. Oh, like I just did. See? You want to drop on that rafter. Good thing I put the ring on, and then drop down on top of this, what looks like a bird cage. Then you want to drop down into the cage to get the Divine Pillars of Light Miracle, which is the spell that the Winged Knights are using whenever they cause all those columns to appear around them. Now, before we head out here, you might want to put your ring back on. And you also want to be careful because there is a cleric grub somewhere around here that will shoot beams of light at you. Carefully drop down. This one you cannot miss, or else you will die no matter what. There's the cleric. So just be careful as we head to the other direction. To get a blessed gem. And if you're lucky, the cleric can fall off of the rafters himself. However, if not, we're going to have to go down and take care of him ourselves. Drop down. And... what? Still alive. There we go. And directly behind him is a ladder. Take the ladder down to find 2 chests, neither of which are mimics, so that's good. And we can exit through this window at the end. This drops us back down to the top of the stairs past the room with all the hands and brings us back to the rooftops here. So we can either walk back to the bonfire, we can use the shortcuts that's at the other end of this room, which is what I'm going to do. Or you can use your homeward bound. Either way. I'm going to take this opportunity to rest up, since we're now going to make our final push to the boss. Also, a word while I do my trek back. I'm not going to use my SS shard yet because there's one more shortcut before we get to the boss itself. What I was going to say is that since to get to those 3 winged knights, all you have to do is go up this elevator, out the door, and take a left, and you can then just walk straight back to this bonfire. It makes this the ideal spot to farm souls. This is actually what I think most people agree on is the best place per minute to get souls. Like, for souls per minute, I mean. And since we are a pyromancer, it makes it even better because a very easy way to take care of them is with the report spell. If you have bought rapport from Carla, then you can sneak up on one of the winged knights and cast rapport on it, and then have it fight for you, making it a lot easier. So, to get to the boss, we're going to move forward and up this long bridge and staircase that is littered with hollows and Lothric knights. So slowly move forward and keep an eye out for any hollows that might be behind these barricades. There's one here. And then there's several crossbows. And then as you can see, there's some hollows coming down. Ow. You want to be very careful because these crossbows can stagger you and kill you. But as long as you stay mobile, you should be able to get through pretty simply. Especially if you're lucky enough to kill them. The big one to worry about is the Lothric Knight approaching us. So let's switch over to the Pyromancy to take care of him. And if we're lucky enough to tag some of the soldiers along the way, then that's just fine. Don't forget, kick exists. Okay. So that's all of them. Loot around. Don't think there's any standard items, it's all just enemy drops. Alright. And then we can work our way up, switch over to the Pyromancy Flame, because 3 Lothric Knights are gonna come down the stairs as you make your way up. So lock onto the first one and go ahead and start attacking. I was out of stamina. I tried to get one last hit on him. Alright, there we go. There we go. Luckily, the last one is actually the easiest because he doesn't have a shield. So you can just stand back and fire. Oh, wow. And we have made it. This is where the boss is going to be, but before we do that, activate the shortcut to the right. This takes us to that inactive elevator that was all the way back next to the Dragon Slayer armor. And so we can use that bonfire to rest up, level up, upgrade our weapons before taking on the boss. Alright, let's sell our things.
How?
We can sell the Blessed Gem. Oh, I got bows.
Ashen.
And I think I am going to take this opportunity to start leveling up my shields. But first, let's reinforce the desk, which should net us an achievement somewhere soon. So first do these Dark Longsword. And since we got our Titanite slab, we can upgrade that to maximum. And yeah, I'm going to start with the Dragon Crest shield. The shields only go up to 5, plus 5. Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't think you get the achievement until you actually rest and fulfill. Oh no, there it is. Sheesh, what's up with the delay? Alright, either way.
Welcome home, speak.
Let's level up. I think we can only afford 1. Yep. So put it in faith.
Farewell, fashionista.
And travel back to Dragon Slayer Armory. Turn around and head out. And before you activate this elevator, know that there's actually a secret. If you activate it and then immediately dodge roll back and off the elevator, much like in the Undead Settlement, a second elevator rises from the bottom. We can then take this elevator to a secret item. Which houses another Titanite slab. Now we can take the elevator back out, activate it again to get it to go down, and then roll off. And then take the second elevator back up. Before you rush out, wait for the Lothric Knights to start their patrol down the stairs. While you're waiting, go ahead and take this opportunity to use an Ember. And now I always have to look because I kind of forget where the summon signs are. Yep, there's one here. Orbic. And then on the stairs in here, there should be one for Cirrus. That is given that you can summon both at the same time, which I'm not entirely sure you can. Ah, you can. Good. Is Orbic on his way? Alright. Summon both our friends. They will help us a lot, and while we're waiting, let me explain that these guys are very resistant to dark damage, so make sure you stick to your pyromancies. And you're gonna fight Lorien of Lothric. No, what is it? Prince Lorien. Who crawls kind of on the ground and wields a giant flaming sword, and is very slow, but hits like a truck. So again, as always, just keep your distance. Try to hit him with pyromancies whenever you get the chance. The only thing to really keep in mind is that when he raises his sword way up and slams on the ground, it can cause like a wave of fire towards you, so you want to kind of dodge to the left or to the right, or be strafing left or right. And the other thing to keep in mind is when you see him glow white, he's going to teleport, and when he teleports, he immediately follows it up with an attack. So just try to keep your eyes peeled and stay back away from him so that you have the maximum amount of field of vision so you can see where he shows up. Once you kill him, the second boss actually shows up to revive him, and then climbs up on his back. It's Lothric. Then, the fight continues to be very similar, except for the added bonus that Prince Lothric will start shooting magic spells at you. He's got a beam, much like the grub clerics, maggot clerics, and he also lets loose a lot of these white dots that home in on you, very much like Aldrich and his dark orbs. Other than that, though, it's roughly the same fight. The problem is, if you kill... It's hard to hit Prince Lothric, the cleric. I'm trying to get the names right. It's hard to hit the cleric, so what you have to do is kind of whittle down the melee Prince Lorien, until he dies yet again. When he dies again, Prince Lothric will fall off his back and try to revive him, and while that's happening, you have free reign to attack Prince Lothric. And the point of the fight is to try to kill Prince Lothric, because he is just going to endlessly revive his brother until you take them both down. The good news is your pyromancy spells can hit both of them at the same time sometimes. So, with that said, let's do it. As you walk forward, you get a cutscene.
Oh dear.
So guard first, because he's immediately going to teleport. See, there's the wave of fire. That standing slash does a large AoE after it. Ooh. You don't want them to take the full brunt of the aggression, because then they'll die quickly. And if they both die, then you're going to be left with a boss with extra health. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the downside to summoning friends to help is that the bosses increase their maxed health. So after a second cutscene, we start the real fight. So dodge all of the stuff, and then just continue our pattern of keeping our distance and firing spells. Be careful of this one though, because that does a massive amount of damage and then is followed up with a strike. So there's the attack, there's the spell. And when he falls to the ground, that's our chance to attack Prince Lothric, who unfortunately has more health. And don't get right up on him, because his revive spell also doubles as an AoE. Here comes another big hit. The good news is every time he revives Prince Lorien, it's with less health. Ooh. That's not good. Oop. Some people actually say that summoning the second NPC is more of a detriment, because the first one, yeah, see, just makes it so that you can take some aggression off of you, but the second one increases the max health even more. And some say the second one makes it not worth it anymore. So if you're struggling, try just summoning one. And if you had to summon just one, I don't really have an opinion. I guess I would suggest Cirrus. And now we're out of mana. So we have to do this the hard way, which is difficult because he is hyper aggressive. He's actually best gone to the left, I think, because then a lot of his attacks go over. But just keep that shield up. Uh-oh, lost him. Ooh. That's the hardest part, is it's easy to lose him when he teleports like that. We almost got him though. Alright, that should do it. Should be able to finish him off here. Yep. So again, you might want to consider just summoning one NPC instead of two. And we actually get our last Cinders of a Lord. So if you want, you can actually go finish the game right here and right now. Oh yeah, and our achievement. But we have a whole nother section to vanquish before doing that. So for now, just light our bonfire, and let's travel back to level up and such. Let's see, what can we sell this time? Just the soul of the twin princes. You can actually feel free to sell your Titanite slab now if you want to, because we fully upgraded the 3 weapons we'll be using.
Ashen one.
Welcome, husband. Very well. Then take no.
So let's go with intelligence. Oh, and that's all we can do. 100,000 souls, and we can only get 1 level.
Farewell, Ashesta.
And now, we're going to take a break. And when we return, we'll do the very last area in the entire game. Well, with the exception of the final boss fight area. And then we will be ready to finish our very first playthrough. So until then, stay safe.